Welcome. We're live. Style of Play Football, the debate show, live. Kojo, what are you saying? What are you telling me?
Oh, I'm good, bro. You know how I'm feeling. I'm feeling great. How you feeling?
I'm feeling on top of the world, like I'm sitting on cloud nine right now. I can't lie. Times have changed. We're going to talk about it.
It's funny. Even though he wasn't shouting, I'm gonna run my agenda anyway. Certain people of certain clubs have dropped points, so I'm not here today. I wonder why. But hey, man.
Listen. To be fair, in their defense, I haven't told. We haven't really mentioned it in the group, but
Yeah, that's not gonna work for my agenda today.
I hear it, man. I hear it, but no. Appreciate everyone that's joined the pod. Listening, if you're here part of the live stream at some point, make sure you get involved in the discussion about what we're going to be discussing. We're talking all things Chelsea today as well. Title race, is it on? Is it not? I know Kojo wants to know, man, if I'm on the yes or no bandwagon at the moment. United come back to wipe tears into Man City's eyes. Beautiful French kiss over there, the Etihad last night as well. Very good game. We're going to be talking sackings as well. So obviously there's a couple of departures this weekend for some clubs that deserved it and some clubs that deserved it. And yeah, man, we're going to talk all things Premier League. So if you're involved in that, you want to hear more, get involved in the chat or after the live stream, get in the comments, let us know your thoughts. But let's start with United, actually. Let's start with United because that was the game that was on earlier yesterday, wasn't it? So that game, when I looked at the lineups, I saw two key players missing. Now, the night before, I had some talk about leakage of squads and all this stuff and how basically that certain people have been leaking information out to press and all the rest of it. So I thought, well, okay, cool. Didn't think too much of it. Then the day comes of the game, I'm on Saudi TV. I'm seeing the meltdown already. The game ain't even kicked off. It's like 3:00. No Garnacho, no Marcus Rashford. Now, there's a couple of conversations about whether they were the leaks, whether this is why they're not even on the bench, whether they're not even in the team. They were training yesterday, I think, before the game. They were, training at Carrington on their own, I think. But I'll be honest, I don't think you even missed them yesterday. But what was your thoughts on that bit just alone? The fact that Garnacho, Rashford weren't in the team. It looks like Ruben Amorim's taking no rubbish. If you're not training well, you're not getting on the team bus.
Let me just say this first, yeah. I was so delighted with the team that yesterday I got home at like 9 p.m. and I still made myself a gourmet meal for lunch. Yeah.
I said gourmet Michelin star and them things there.
Right. Anyway,
I thought you'd have humble pie for the City fans though.
No. As much as I'll run the thing, yeah, I'm a true Ghanaian here.
Ghanaian there.
But now look, honestly, the lineup didn't rattle me. I was actually quite at peace with it because I thought they'd actually both be dropped for the game anyway, as in on the bench. Because in the game against Arsenal, I think what our biggest issue is we always kept on giving the ball away on the left side. Dalo is not the best player keeping the ball, but he's our main option on the left side right now. So you can't play him and Garnacho or him and Rashford on that side. It's not going to work for the balance. It's not going to work for the tactics. So when I saw Mason Mount lining up, I was very much at peace because I said, okay, it's going to be a keep ball, try and break down type game. It's not going to be a sort of kick and rush type of thing because I've always Man United's players by force like to play sort of like fetch football with Rashford to it, and sometimes we need to keep the ball, and he's not keeping the ball when we're playing position football either. So if he's not going to start, so be it. But what I liked about what Amorim said is, look, and journalists to get a headline out of him, it was, look, they didn't train great compared to other players, but then someone like Johnny Evans trained well, and he's not in the team. So it's not about disciplinary. It's not about anything like that. They're putting effort in. They want to work hard to get back into the team. So this is what it's about. I look at the way people work. I look at the way people eat, I look at the way people get ready. All these things contribute to whether you're selected for my team or not, and how you get, and if you start or not. That's how it should be. That's what we've been looking for a long time, because you know it, I know it, anyone else that speaks on football knows it. The standard in this club has dropped for a long time, and it's not only about the senior players dropping their standards. It's also about having young players who come through and you think they're going to be so great because they start well and then their form drops, so we start getting onto them as well. There's such a lack of balance. There needs to be a fair balance. There needs to be a let the young players play,
Yeah.
but as a senior players follow that example, and then watch if the young players follow that example. Rashford obviously hasn't been the example. Garnacho has not followed that example, so they both were dropped. In terms of the whole leaking thing, Garnacho's name was banded everywhere. There were people finding different things. The main culprit of leaks that I just dislike completely is Samuel Luckhurst. Dislike him as a journalist. Dislike him as because he doesn't get his own way with the sort of like the journalistic side of Man United anymore. So whilst he's still in there, he's on the tightrope. He's been warned before about his behaviour. He's been warned before about the things he says. So I feel like he runs his own agenda sometimes. Now, of course, for United, when he puts a decent article about United winning, but when United lose or there's some sort of turmoil, he's always there. That's the kind of stuff I have to deal with. And that's how you start getting the players' mentality right, by dealing with the culture around the club. It's not only about what's on the pitch, it's not only about what's on the change ground, and sometimes it's not even about what's on upstairs. It's about the people you let around the club as well. And if he's poison to the players, get rid of him. So, yeah, man, Amorim's handling things beautifully, man, and I'm very happy, man, very very happy.
Yeah, no, he done well. I think he's dealing with things in a way that things should have been dealt with at United time ago. Do you know what I mean? Time ago, when we think back to all the things where players were out doing what they were doing when they should have been not out, or their standards had slipped, their standards had dropped to the club, they were still getting selected. They were still playing. They were still getting time on the ball. They were being put in the first 11, and it sends a massive message not just to those two players but to the squad. Do you get what I'm saying? It says, if you're not willing to up the standards that I need you to be playing at this club, you're not getting on the team bus. It's as simple as that.
Fact. And the fact that they won such a huge game.
Yes,
goes in his favour as
exactly.
Well.
So now it makes him look even double right, because first of all, he was right for not selecting him for his own reasons and whatever, and he handled it well with the press. I think before the game they said why aren't they in the squad, and he just said it's a tactical thing, it's not a disciplinary thing. They're just out of the squad. It's just it is what it is. I can only play 11 players and so many on the bench. But then to go on and to win in the way that United won as well, he must have walked off that pitch thinking, you know what, no one can't chat to me tonight. Like, I'm good. I'm calm in United's dressing room tonight because we won the game. I picked the squad. I made the subs. You know what I mean? So I want to talk to you though about, so separately to that, before we talk about Mason Mount, do you see Garnacho or Rashford starting in your next game? I can't remember who you got next now.
We've got Tottenham in the Carabao Cup.
That's it. Sorry, that's yeah.
It just depends on how they train. I mean, the Mason Mount injury is now an opening, but at the same time, Mainu came off the bench and ran midfield.
He done well. He done really well. Really well.
So intercepted play. So his defensive was a lot better. Going forward, he was helping control the game. Bruno Fernandes played back in his number 10 position alongside Ahmad, and you could see he actually wasn't playing the long passes that he aims to look for. He was a lot more control, he was a lot more relaxed. So this is the thing now. You need to fight.
But that's what he needs.
Whether they start or not, I can't lie to you at this point. It's not my concern anymore, my guy. If you start, it's because I now trust Amorim. Not even now, I've always trusted him because I've been banging his drum for a long time. But I now know that if Garnacho or Rashford are in the lineup, it's because they worked their asses off to get back into the lineup, and that's fine by me. And that's all you need to know. And then it's about applying it onto the pitch whilst you're there. If they don't apply it, what happens? They get subbed off. Simple as that. So,
I'm all in favour of that. All in favour of that. Let's talk about Mason Mount, who didn't last very long in the game. That's got to be a concern. I pulled up the stats yesterday because I needed to check how long this guy had been out of football for United. He's missed a lot of football. I think he missed 27 games, all comps last season for United.
Yeah.
So it's a massive blow. I feel like I remember saying it about Reece James. So people keep saying I'm saying it because he's at United now and he's an ex Chelsea player. But I'm saying the same thing about Reece James. I don't think these two can play at the top level anymore. I think they're both done.
You know what's so sad about it is there's such good players. There's such good players.
They're brilliant players, but they're just never. You're never gonna see Reece James at the top of his game again. You're never gonna see Mason Mount putting in the numbers that he did under Frank Lampard's first stint at Chelsea. You're never gonna see that.
Yeah, no, no. To be fair, you're right on that. Look, I don't want to say they're done, just because. In fact, it's gonna sound crazy, but it's like I almost feel like, and it's not possible at the top level, which is the fact. But I feel like Mason Mount genuinely needs like a year out, because
Yeah.
when he went on the ground, you could see that when he was distraught. But two, he almost looked like he just doesn't understand what's wrong with his body.
Yeah,
I feel like this is someone
he
who
was-
is working his hardest to get back on the pitch, and he's got a chance. It's such a huge game to start, and something's just not gone right again, and he can't get a handle of it. And that's why I said, even though I think a year would be good for him to take out completely, so I do injury issue stuff. The fact is, at this level, no club is going to sit down and wait a year for you to get better, especially when they spent £60 million on you. It's just not possible. So it might generally be a situation where he may, because I don't think we'll sell him, because I don't think you can sell him. He might need a loan, and when I say a loan, I'm talking about a loan at a league that's a lot less.
It's just challenging on the body. Like he needs a league where he's got a bit more time on the ball, and
A lot
just
more technical,
yeah, like
rather
it's
than
just
hustle and bustle. Yeah,
the expectation in the league is that he's got to go out and he's got to command that midfield. And I do feel sorry for him to an extent. Obviously, he's ex Chelsea, so it's a very small bit of sorry and wallow that I feel for him. But he had a high ceiling, and I don't think he really hit that. I just want to talk quickly about the comment here. So, Footy Heritage, for anyone who's listening on the audio version of the podcast, has put, as a United fan, first hour we were off it. City were very vulnerable and we took advantage with a lucky back pass and pen, but we done our job. Kobe should have started. Agreed. Him and Ogate held it down. I agree.
I don't think we're off it for the first hour. I think United fans are going to have to get used to the fact that right now he's getting the team to control the game a bit more, because we're going to have to be a bit more careful when we're playing these teams. It's not about just City, it's about all teams. Because last game at home against Forest, people were expecting us to go forward and, batter them. And United's thing is attack, attack, attack.
Yeah.
We can't attack, attack, attack these days because the team is not ready to do attack, attack, attack. And if I'm being honest, I didn't feel threatened by City for most of the game. That's the I feel like we controlled them for the most part. We nullified most of their threats. Their goal, deep KDB, he's got a huge deflection on that cross. Obviously, it's a very good header from Vardy. I'm not taking that away from him.
Yeah.
But in that moment, it's taken a bit of fortune for them to get that first goal. Other than that, I think that we've dealt with them. Foden had 2 shots. One went close, one went wide. But you can't tell me within the first hour, it's crazy to say apart from the goal because they scored, but when you get that element of fortune, when you assess the game as a whole, were they that dangerous? I don't think so. KDB's passing was off. Haaland's was nowhere to be found.
Harry Maguire marked him out the game.
Completely marked him out of the game. And anytime there's a physical battle, he dealt with him as well. KDB and Foden weren't comfortable because Ugarte was everywhere, chasing the ball, tackling, these things are things that we need to get used to, because United are not the dominant side that fans are used to having, and we haven't been that side for ages.
Yeah.
We're trying to rebuild to that, and this is a big indication of that, because back in the day, a City United game, not back in the day, but in the last 10 years, a City United game will be minimum 60% Man City possession, a lot more shots. They finished 52-48 in City's advantage, but in the home side, that's not a problem. But it's a lot closer. We had the same amount of shots. We considered a bit more fouls because we interrupted their play, but
Yeah.
that's fine.
Had like
That's
15,
fine.
14 fouls or something to their like
Yeah, but
4, I think. But you need to do that
exactly.
against City. You need to do that. I think we've always said on here, one thing with City is if you attack them, you take the game to them, they crumble. They crumble. And you did that in the second half. And we have to talk about Ahmad. Because Ahmad, for me, how was this guy not starting under Eric Ten Hag? Is criminal. He's got some questions to answer somewhere. He's got
I
some
can't.
questions to answer because the way he plays. I look at him and I think, you know what? He's just a breath of fresh air to watch. Do you get what I
He's
mean?
he's so brave. He's direct when he has to be. He recycles possession when he has to. He At this point, 80% of the time, he makes the right decision. And the big thing for me about him is his anticipation, both in possession and out of possession. Because in possession, he's always looking to make a move, get into spaces to say, "Can I get the ball here? Can I help my teammate?" And then he gets the ball, he goes, and then off the ball, you saw it. You saw it for the penalty. He was
Yeah,
he was
yeah, yeah.
looking. He was looking. Are you gonna pass it back? Are you gonna pass it back? As soon as the ball left that boot, he was gone. He was off, and his awareness as well for the goal that he obviously scored as well. Great take. But what impressed me more is how he sort of was running, and then he sort of just bent his run a little bit and slowed it down, just to make sure he stays on side. Timing was there, and then the rest is history. So, boy, he's Superman. That's what we saw. I'm not even gonna mention Anthony's name. The one that someone reminded me of this. Sorry, reminded me of this. Anthony starting over him now is not actually my biggest concern anymore. Remember there was a time where he was playing Amari Forson along him.
Yes.
Now, I don't want to diss the youth because obviously he's a young guy as well. He wants to get a chance, opportunity. But my guy, come on.
Nah, man.
We can't
Listen,
have talent like that and not use him. We can't.
even he must be sitting there thinking, "Rah, it's getting game time ahead of him." Like, sometimes you got to ask the question how and why. Because I think for me, Ahmad is one of the first names that has to be on that team sheet for United if they're ever going to try and compete for something now. Not just he's not the be all and end all. I like the look of Lenny Yoro. I think the Lit's been good as well throughout spells for United. It was just a really good performance in that second half, and I think even the goals, they were just. I mean, the penalty was just. It was always. It was just typical City of recent times where they just try do something. They just try too many passes. Sometimes you just got a long ball it, especially at that point in the game. What was it, like 80 something minutes? There's 70 seconds between the two goals or something like that. You can't. That's City were never doing that a couple of seasons ago. City were dominating possession and convincingly seeing the game out, whereas now they're scrambling at the back, and it was just mental to see. I was happy because obviously it helps us in the league a little bit, but at the same time I was happy because I think this downfall of City has been on the cards for a while, and I think people are finally seeing that Haaland isn't what did they dub him, the machine. He's just a robot. He's not, because if you mark him out of the game, he didn't have a shot on target yesterday. Oh, he had one. I think he had one shot on target.
It was blocked though. So it was blocked immediately. So
do you know what I mean? Like, he's not like the be all and end all. And this is the thing with City. Doku is like Saint Maximum, but worse. Foden, I think they said, has scored 1 goal this season, I think.
yeah,
Grealish is Grealish.
he scored. He hasn't scored.
He hasn't scored for a year.
Yeah.
Kevin De Bruyne's getting subbed off, but apparently he's still not fully fit. They keep talking about Rodri, Gundogan. Like, this downfall's been coming for City, so I'm glad it's coming now. I'm glad that people are seeing that Pep, when he's got a ready-made team and all this and that, he looks lovely. But when he's got to actually manage the team and change something in his team for them to get the 3 points, you're seeing he hasn't got the ideas. He ain't got the ideas at all.
He's had history of this. It's the thing that I've always had my reservations about. Like when I say that people feel like I'm dissing him because he's one of the greatest managers, of course he is. But every manager in history has had one or two faults that you just have to look at and say, hey, sometimes the guy gets it wrong, and that's okay. You know what I mean? And he overthinks. The lineup. Mateus Nunes again now. So it was Wenger. Now it's left back. Like, and again, it's confusing for me because surely John Stones is fit. You play him centre back, and you put Vardy left back where Vardy has been playing well this year. Like, I don't understand why he keeps doing this. This is not new. He's done this in the past. With Bayern, he's done it with Barcelona.
Yeah.
So as much as he's collected so many accolades with all these clubs, the reason why people continue to ask question marks about him is because it's like any other manager. He will have his faults. He doesn't diminish his legacy. If he called it a day to day, he'd go down as one of the best to ever do it, and that's okay. But yeah, he's this season the losses have rattled his brain and he has no idea where to go. So yeah, hey man, we added on to the pain. That's what I care about, man. He can hold that.
One win in what's that now? 1 win in 11.
1 win in 11.
Poor, man, poor. But it works in Chelsea's favour. It works in Liverpool's favour. I think you can't rule City out of the title race just yet. But listen, I'd like to, but
I know.
But come on, let's not. I'm just about almost admitting that we are in the title race. When I say we, I mean Chelsea are in the title race. I know it took me a while. We're there now, but I do think you can't rule out City just because what are they now? They're 27 points. Liverpool on 36. So, and obviously they got a game in hand as well. But it wouldn't still surprise me. They're only fifth in the league. I want to talk about Forest on another episode, but I feel like Forest will drop off at some point. I know they're flying high. They're fourth in the league still now. But you can't rule out City. You just can't. Because it's not about City winning the games. It's about Liverpool and Chelsea and Arsenal keeping the momentum going. And if one of those fall off a little bit or show signs of a wobble, especially Liverpool, because they're the front runners, do you know what I mean? If they show signs of wobbling like they did against, was it Fulham? Fulham at the weekend, then you will see City smell a bit of blood. And it only takes a couple of defeats for Liverpool, and then they were 9 points. Was it 9 points the gap was the other day? Now it's 2. I know they got the game in hand, so it's theoretically it's 5. But
that's true.
You get what I'm saying?
That's true. But this is where I come with the political answer. Will Liverpool drop less points than City? My answer is yes. So if you can't catch Liverpool, then you have to worry about everybody else. I think this is my political answer. You know what I mean? But no, look, the reason why I'm counting them out is because City will win games again. It's going to happen, but right now they don't know where to turn. And more concerning for them is, despite how shocking a season we've had, we're only 5 points behind them. That's how poor this season has been for them. People talking about, oh yeah, you're saying it's a poor start to the season, but they've only got 3 points less than last season. Well, that doesn't mean anything to me, mate. It's still considered as a poor season because last season they didn't win 1 in 11 games, so they could drop points here and there, but they didn't win 1 in 11. This is back to the days of when they had, Richard Dunn and all these guys. That's that kind of form they're showing now. So come on, let's not try and give them any sort of like. And I'm not disagreeing with you because twists and turns happen. We've seen more shocking things. Teams have given up 12-point leads and lost the league title.
Exactly.
So it can happen, of course. It can happen, but right now I just don't know where they turn. But listen, I'm here for Liverpool collapse as well because obviously, if you want to win it, I'm here for you, bro. I'm here for you.
You know, deep down, you don't mean that, but I'll take it for now on the pod.
No. Listen. You need to understand my predicament. For the last 6-7 years, it's been City or Liverpool. Yeah. And by God, I am not watching Arsenal win so bad.
Oh, yeah, come on.
Or Cahill can come and chat to me. No.
Yeah, come on, never.
You're a very common individual. My other friend Fredo, Chelsea fan as well. He's a very common individual. I'll come and hug you, man, and say congratulations. The rest of them, they can hold that. It's all right.
Let's be honest. And do you think Chelsea are able to, we're in a title race? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because I keep trying to explain the two differences now. There's a title race, which you're in competition for the first place with someone else. That's theoretically, mathematically true at the moment of where we are in the league. I just don't think we won't run as far as Liverpool can in this league title race because we don't have the goalkeeper and we keep missing chances, big chances in games. We're lucky we came up against Brentford yesterday. Had we come up against Liverpool, even United now, the way they're playing, even City as well, that would have been a different story. When it was 2-1, I think we could have gone on to lose that game or even draw the game. We're missing too many key chances in games, and I'm not just blaming Nicholas Jackson, but that's the difference between winning the league and finishing second.
I'll tell you why I think. I'll tell you why I think you can do it, and it's really this simple. What you said about Chelsea is true, but despite Liverpool being top of the table, it's not. So, no, no, no,
she's not.
no. Yeah. I'll see my boss is in. Yeah, it's not that you guys can't win. It's not that you guys you do miss chances, but Liverpool, if you assess them as so, I'm not trying to take away from them, but they haven't been scintillating either. You look at their games, look at the games that they drop points in. There are errors in the game. In fact, it's because some of the games they've won. There are errors in them. Sometimes you need that to get away with some points. Just the best Man United teams. I'll never forget. The year that Derby got the worst points in Premier League history, we only beat them 1-0 at Pride Park. And let me tell you right now, that was the most back and forth game that I've seen in that season. Man United were creating chances, Derby were creating chances. That Derby team should have had a chance against Man United with Rooney, Ronaldo, and all that stuff. But sometimes in those games, you need a bit of luck. And we had a bit of luck very late in the game with Ronaldo. You guys will have your games. You missed a lot of chances, but you still came away with a win. Cucurella hardly scores goals, but he came up with a header. You know what I mean? Nicholas Jackson missed chances, but he still scored the goal so much that his goal kind of cancelled out the chance for Brentford to get an equaliser, because when they got their late goal, they still need to get another one to claw it back. So you'll get your elements here and there, but you got to take them when you can. And Liverpool are going to take them when they can as well, you know? And again, I keep saying it, they got their trump card, it's Salah. Unfortunately, no one else has a Salah in the league right now. but you still have a quality team, and your biggest plus is because you're in the Conference League and you have selected a squad for that Conference League. You can rotate so well between competitions. The team you fielded on Thursday, we all knew was not going to be the same fielded.
Yeah, 7 changes, I think, or something like that. From
exactly. So you can afford that, and that's the biggest thing, because a lot of teams, when they go to the Europa League or the Conference League, well, recently Conference League, but they come to play games on a Sunday, they struggle because the players have to make that transition, you know, to the weekend games, and it's hard. It's been like that over the years. But because you've got that squad to rotate, you should take advantage of the opportunity to get these goals in, and you know, get these opportunities in. And yeah, I think you guys will be fine. It's one step at a time. It's one step at a time. But you guys are in the race for sure. And I agree with your terminology. I usually call it a challenge from February onwards. If you're there, they'll say, okay, you're challenging for the title now. Now it's between you two. Because as you said, City right now, I don't think anyone will consider them challengers. But of course, if they overturn the deficit by even March, then you're going to say they're challenging for the title. So yeah, but you're there, man. You're there. Enjoy it whilst it lasts, at least. I know. Don't be Maresca.
No. I think, you know what, it's good to be there. It is. It's nice to be in that conversation, because obviously, as you know, Chelsea have had some hard times over the last 2 years. 2 years, really, since the takeover. Things have just not been the same. But injuries are a big factor now. Obviously, Wesley Fofana's out. Badia Shield's got a hamstring issue, which is why Tosun was playing yesterday. Kokoré is now missing the next game because he picked up a yellow, then got booked after the game, after full time. So he now misses the Everton game, which is going to be a difficult game already. So those kind of things everything's kind of coming. This is what I've been saying to Chelsea fans. We've had a really good run. This is why we've got a big squad, because of the fact that we can fly out to Kazakhstan, play over there, and then come back and rest everybody, and then have the second team come out and play on a Sunday. But the injuries are starting to pick up a bit more. Reece James obviously is still out as well. Lavia, I think, is out again now, so he's not been able to manage his minutes very well. João Felix, I think, is ill or out, injured. Mudrik's still ill. So yes, we've got the squad depth, but a lot of those players I don't think were brought in to play a pivotal role for us. So I'm thinking of like Keane and Dewsbury Hall. Players like that I don't think were brought in to be the starters in the Premier League. They might have to be now if we start picking up more injuries along the way. But I think Chelsea, if Chelsea had, and I will keep saying this, if Chelsea had a decent goalkeeper, and I know Nicholas Jackson scoring the goals, he scored a brilliant goal, brilliant pass from Enzo yesterday, brilliant goal that he scored. I just think if he had someone a bit more clinical, like he missed a sitter. I think with Sancho that squares the ball and Sancho takes on the defender, squares the ball, and then it just bubbles a little bit before he gets to Jack. Maybe I'm even giving him a bit of trying to help him there, but he should be scoring it regardless. Left foot, right foot, it doesn't matter. He should score that. He redeems himself with the goal, and Cucurella's with the bullet header was brilliant. But I think even the way that we let the other goal go in, the Mbumo goal go in, it's little things like that. You come up against better competition. Even like I'm thinking like an Alexander Isak who would probably run right against our defense or someone like that. You know, those are the games that I think even against Everton. I know it sounds mad. We don't have the best of records at Goodison Park, and the injuries I've just reeled off, the suspension to Cucurella, who for me, I said it earlier on the Chelsea channel, he's the best Premier League left back currently based on form. To have him out, or at least one of them anyway, but to have him out, it's going to be tough because Everton's going to be a hard ground to go to. Goodison's not easy. It's the last Chelsea fixture there before they move to Bramley Moor. It's just difficult, and it's just before that sort of Christmas Day, Boxing Day fixtures, which I never like anyway because it just feels like a lot. It just feels like a lot of games are played in a short space of time. That's all. When theoretically, it's really not. It's really not. It's still the same as like a Thursday, Sunday. It just feels.
Yeah, but can I just say, I think it's bloody insane that after Christmas Day, you have to wake up for a game.
Yeah. But they have to train Christmas Day though. They don't. This is why.
It's still insane. What do you mean?
No. Or does they have to travel as well? Don't forget, some teams have to travel like the night before, so they wake up Christmas morning, open the presents, and then they're away. They're away at like 10, 11 o'clock with the team. Traveling, so it is insane. It is insane. But I always think back when I was watching them play minus 11 degrees in Kazakhstan and Astana Thursday. I was thinking, this is why you get paid thousands of pounds a week. This is why you're doing it. So yes, I feel sorry for them. But when that 300 and whatever grand hits the bank every Friday or every month, then do you know what I mean? I'm just saying, man. I might wake up Christmas morning and you might not see me opening presents. I might be waiting in Cobham with the team bus if I'm getting paid a $250,000 a week. Just saying, you never know. You never know. But no, I think just looking at the title now, obviously Arsenal dropped points as well this weekend. Liverpool dropping points, still got that game in hand as I keep mentioning. But Arsenal just look like a team, and Basil keeps saying it. We've both said it on here. Arteta can't win anything with Arsenal. I don't think he's got it in him. I don't think personally.
Yeah, no, it's it's like obviously me and Bass go back and forth on Arteta and stuff, but where we do agree is the recruitment as a whole it hasn't made sense. Like I was returning to Basil that I was a bit peed off that they got Mourinho because he's a good player, but I don't think they've utilised him properly. And the lineup on the weekend didn't make sense to me because you don't play Mourinho. If I'm being honest, you don't play Mourinho and Rice together. Rice has been signed and he's been given the role of being a box-to-box midfielder for Arsenal Football Club, right?
Yeah.
So in that scenario, you don't play Mourinho, who is also as a known box-to-box for Sociedad next to him. Just like they had it with him and Zubimendi. Zubimendi will be the balancing. You know, he'll be the defensive outlet for you, and then you can go back and forth because Mourinho's got to be shot on him. He can pick out a pass, but he's not a chief creator. Arsenal's biggest issue is that they only have one creator on the pitch. What's good for them is that they have a very good solid defense, especially the partnership. They've got a midfield that's better than most. They've got a very good Bukayo Saka. So their weaknesses up top and on the left can be sort of sheltered a little bit because you've got enough quality around the pitch to win games. But I think it became very abundantly clear against Fulham that they need a killer in those occasions. It came abundantly clear against Everton, and they created chances against Everton because you don't have a finisher. You don't have someone that has the natural instinct to go for the kill. 8 times out of 10, he's hitting hitting the target, and he's making the keeper work, or he's hitting the back of the net. They don't have that. Jesus doesn't have that in his Arsenal. Havertz doesn't have that in his Arsenal, and it keeps going back to depending on Saka for goals. And Everton was so well. They defended so well that Saka only had one good chance that for a good save out of Pickford, but that's what you're going to get. And this is what I've been trying to relay to him. And this is why I said I don't think tactically Arteta is a problem. I don't think he's a bad manager. I don't think he needs to get sacked. I think that's a bit over the top. I just think the recruitment side of things, him and Edu kind of messed up with the balance of the squad. And because you haven't addressed that left side, because you had Martinelli only, and then
Yeah.
you signed Trossard in January,
Yeah.
and he is a decent addition to the team, but he's not a creative outlet either. He's very attacking, inside forward, go for goal cap player. Then you've got Sterling, who is not known as a creator either. So that's another issue they have, but you're not even using him. The other issue is the subs. You can't take off your creator and bring on a lesser experienced creator in Nwaneri, sorry.
Yeah.
If anything, play the both of them. But then another issue is, like I mentioned to him in the voice note, you look at Chelsea, Cucurella is not known for high assist numbers, but he's someone that bombs down the flank, so he get in a position to create chances. Gusto can do the same thing. When you play Caicedo there, I'm not a fan of some midfielders going into midfield position, but Caicedo can create from deep as well. Obviously, in the game for you guys, he gave a great pass to Jackson that created a chance for a volley that was well saved. So they have that. You can't sign centre backs and keep putting them at fullback and expect chances to be created. It's not going to work.
Yeah.
It's not going to work. So that's where they're suffering, and that's where they will fall off in the title challenges, because last year was really their year to push on, and they were close, but they just didn't get that extra point or 2 points that they needed. This year now, with other teams now getting into their groove and starting to get it, this ain't gonna run for a third year, and you're not gonna get set pieces 10 times every game. So yeah, that's where they're struggling.
They need to bring back Tony Pulis, man. They need to get him on the coaching. No, but in all seriousness, I genuinely think, I remember saying it like 2 years ago, I don't see Arteta winning a Premier League with them. I think they're always going to be that team that came so close but was so far away. Almost a little bit like Brendan Rodgers when he was at Liverpool. Like, he had the team there, but he just wasn't the guy to do it. Now, if you had, imagine you had Jurgen Klopp when they had that squad when they nearly won it. I think it was Rodgers, wasn't it? The night at Crystal Palace.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that night. Dwight Gale, wherever you are right now, I love you so much, man, because that night was sensational. But I swear it was like a Monday night. As I'm telling you, man, I remember exactly where I was, the Lowry Hotel, Manchester. I sat in the bar. I'm telling you, that's how much it's ingrained in my mind. But yeah, no, like, I feel like that's the kind of thing that's happening with Arsenal, is that they have got a good, very, very good squad, very, very good squad. But you hit the nail on the head just then. The tactical decisions that have been made by Arteta throughout the game, they still don't have a clinical goal scorer. It's going to come back. It's never going to work. It's never going to work for them. Yeah, I mean, whether they can address that in the winter window, I don't think they can. But do you know what I mean? Stranger things have happened. I just think Arsenal. I mean, yeah, I don't see them winning the league at all. I think the fact that they dropped points again this weekend kind of tells you the level of where they are. I mean, not being able to beat and break down Everton. Remember, this is Everton's defense. Mikalenko, Branthwaite, okay, let's give him credit, is a good, but he's come back from a long-term injury. James Tarkowski, who, if you rate him, you rate him, but I don't really rate him that well. And Ashley Young, who's going to be 40 in a couple of months. Now, that back line, you should be able to break that down a little bit more.
No, you should. But this is where Arsenal miss a trick. Is Everton, and actually no, not even. I'm not going to give Arsenal a discredit. I'm going to give Everton credit, because Everton clocked the formula.
Yeah.
Everton got their 2 banks of 4.
Yeah.
They set up to defend. They set up to be very solid. I even said to Cahill before the game that Dominic Calvert-Lewin's not got to start to be an attacking threat. He's there for the set pieces and corners. This is what they're here to deal with. And when you're crossing the ball, Tarkovsky's tall. Branthwaite is tall. They've got tall midfielders. They've got a tall forward. Mikalenko's even slightly tall as well. Like, they're here to deal, and they're physical. More than anything, they're physical, because Gabriel and Saliba love a physicality challenge. You can't run that game with a team like this. They feed into that. They love it. I'll always refer back to David Moyes' Man United versus Fulham when we crossed the ball 81 times in one game against 6'2" minimum players. You know what I mean? Like you're not gonna get through. So look, they have to find another way, and that's what I'm saying. He did set another career, and I still think, I know Basil disagrees, but I still think it was a mistake letting Fabio Vieira go. It's not about him being a top player. It's about having another creative outlet in a game like this. He can afford to play a game like this and create chances alongside Odegaard on the pitch, and you're suffering because of that. So, yeah, man.
Yeah, no, I hear that 100%. I think, I just don't see it. I don't see them winning it. But I agree with you. They need to bring a bit more creativity in their attacking sense as well. And like we keep saying, the striker has to be there for them. But I don't see it as well. And just very quickly on Liverpool, interesting game for them. You know, Fulham. It's a shame, man, because I thought Fulham they might see this out when they went 2-1 up. But when we were watching the game, all three of us, me, you and Basil, and I'm sure Damon and Laura were watching it as well, Reese as well. But I thought, this is the moment. I thought if there was ever a better weekend to see teams drop points, City dropping, but obviously we didn't know at the time, but now looking back, City drop points, Arsenal drop points, Liverpool drop points, Chelsea win.
Yeah.
Do you know if we beat Everton next Sunday, we go top of the league?
Yeah.
Saying nothing, but I'm just saying with Liverpool. I mean, look, this is what I mean about difference between even though you're down and out, you're 2-1 down. It's at Anfield. You still somehow manage to claw back a point, and that point could be the point that wins them the league. And this is the difference between certain clubs and the likes of Arsenal, for instance. But well, they're going to struggle. No Robertson next game. No Robertson.
Yeah.
Straight red. I think he only misses the Carabao Cup game. I think they got
Straight red.
I think he might only miss that.
It's not 3 games anymore sometimes, isn't it?
I think ridiculous. So. It's changed. They got Southampton, I think, in the cup, so he'll be back for the Tottenham game. But they have a really strange run-in. They've got Tottenham, then they play Leicester, Boxing Day, then West Ham. Then they've got United on the 5th of January. So there's 4 games that, they might pick up points, but I think they'll struggle. Not saying they're going to struggle, but I think they'll find playing like a Leicester, even though Leicester got battered against Newcastle. But West Ham, they might struggle. They might struggle against some of those teams.
No, they might do. But this is where you have to take advantage if you're one of those teams. Like Tottenham, for example. I know they capitulated against you guys at home. Obviously,
then,
1-5.
They go and do a madness, though, yesterday.
Exactly, go and smack 5 goals in the first half. But Liverpool have a odd record against Tottenham away from home, so that's one that you can look at. Leicester needs to pick up points. Title challenge, relegation battle. West Ham, genuinely don't know what West Ham you're going to get. Genuinely don't know what West Ham you're going to get. United is a big one because United needs to prove a point, because they came to Old Trafford and beat us 3-0 under Ten Hag. It's a new regime. It's a new manager, different approach. So maybe that'll be a tricky one for them as well. But this is what I'm talking about. Let's see how much luck they get alongside their quality. It's all good being good, but sometimes you need that element of luck. And if they slip at any point, you could be the team to take advantage of it. If it's not you, it could be another team. But we'll see how they get on, man. Every game in the Premier League is not easy. It's supposed to be, but it's not. So
this is it.
Well, no, unless it's Southampton, but there you go.
This is it, man. Let's talk about the 2 seconds very quickly. Obviously, Russell Martins was yesterday. It's obviously a 5-0, like you said, home defeat before half time. I think they made that decision before the game, to be fair, to sack him. But to sack him whilst he was still at St Mary's by the looks of it, because the news came out very quickly after the defeat. I think he just finished his press after the game, his post-match press, and the announcement I think came out, if not whilst he was doing it, almost literally after, which is, I mean, look, if Southampton want to do that, they're well within their rights. They're currently 9 points from safety after 16 games. This is not good. The football that they playing out from the back, trying to be creative and looking amazing in the Premier League, it's not working for them. This is why they're rock bottom of the league. But it was a matter of time, I think, for Russell Martin to leave.
You can't I think we've said it every week. They're not equipped to play the kind of football that they're trying to play. You're not cut out for it, and you haven't got. I mean, you signed Ramsdale to be that passing goalkeeper, but if he's not available, you don't force your backup goalkeeper to be that guy. If you can't do it, you can't do it. And you've seen it week in, week out. A lot of their goals they concede is because they concede possession in their own final third and just concede silly chances after silly chances. The team's just not good enough. And
Yeah.
honestly, one win this season, I'm not gonna lie, it wouldn't surprise me if they smashed the Derby record of lowest points. It
I
wouldn't
know. I was
surprise
looking at that last night. I was thinking the same thing. I was
me.
thinking
Bro,
the same thing.
honestly, apart from maybe battling a fellow relegation rival, I don't know where their points come from.
Yeah. 11 goals scored though, 36 conceded, one win, like you said, in 16.
That's poor.
It's
They
the
might
way
be
they
done.
play the football though. Like when I watched them, I think we played them last weekend or the weekend before, 2 weekends ago. And every time they're trying to play it, the goalkeeper is not confident with the ball. He's not confident at the ball at his feet. When the ball comes to him, he's a bit like Sanchez, but a really, really, really bad version. Really bad version because he's got the ball and you can tell in his mind, he's thinking a million things. What am I going to do with the ball? And before he knows it, there's an attacker on top of him. So what's next for Southampton? Who do they bring in? Who can they bring in to take over?
Honestly, I don't know who, but they need to find someone that's a bit more, a bit more conservative. This is someone that's going to tell you, look, if you're not under pressure, you're not being pressed, you want to pass the ball out from the back, that's fine. But the aim is to get the ball down the pitch as quick as possible. A team like Southampton has got time to try and build up play right now. If I'm being honest, they need to try and just get goals in and win games 1-2-1. Have a solid backline base. Forget about pressing too high. Keep
Yeah.
it quiet, low block. Just sneak as many points as you can. Because right now, yeah, I don't know where they go from here.
They're
Honestly,
saying here that Danny Roll, I don't know much about him. 35-year-old German. He's worked as an assistant at the Saints under former head coach Raf Hasenhüttl. He's done a remarkable job at Sheffield Wednesday in what was his first managerial role. He became the youngest manager in Sky Bet AFL when the Owls appointed him in October 2023. So he's currently the Sheffield Wednesday manager. He's odds on evens to be the next manager. 7-1 for Graham Potter, 10-1 for David Moyes. So by those odds, you would say he's going to be the next guy to take over. But I don't know much about him. I mean, it's a big step up from Sheffield Wednesday to Southampton. I said yesterday to someone, you could potentially, maybe they should have kept Ross and Martin because they're down and out. They're down and out from the Premier League now. Whether they change the manager, I think the next 2 games is United and Liverpool, if I'm not mistaken, or I might have just made that up. I'm pretty sure they've got back-to-back northern teams, I'm sure. Now, if that's the case, they go down. Maybe then you sack him. Maybe then you look at who's around. But I just think sacking him now, it's like the horse has already bolted and you've lost the race. So what do you stand to bring someone else in at this point now? Is it salvageable? I don't think it is, looking at the other teams around them as well. Maybe Ipswich go down with them, but there's other teams down there that will find points before Southampton.
yeah, no, I agree wholeheartedly. Firstly, if I'm is it Danny Roll? If I'm him, I don't take this job. I'm not a fan of, especially new to the managerial game, managers in a good spot with their current club by force taking a big move for themselves because it's a Premier League move. Sometimes stay where you are, and you're not a bad level with Sheffield Wednesday. You're a division lower. Take your time, build up. As for who they should get,
I mean, I did say Graham Potter yesterday, but I'm thinking if they get someone like Graham Potter, like I said, I think they're already down and out. So try and get a manager like Graham Potter. If they go down, you've got someone there that should get you back out the Championship, and you can kind of rebuild whilst you're in the Championship, and then hopefully come back to the Premier League the next season or the season after that. But I think if you go for this Danny Roll or someone of that sort of level, and you go down, there's no guarantee. This isn't like to disrespect him. I don't know much about him as a manager, but there's no guarantee. I think with Graham Potter, if I was a Saints fan, I'd be a bit more comfortable if I got relegated and I've got someone like him as my manager to try and get me back into the Premier League a lot quicker than someone who hasn't done that before, hasn't played managed in the Premier League before as well.
I don't think they can get Graham Potter, and I don't think they can get David Moyes.
They want bigger jobs, in it. I think they're gonna want like the.
They deserve bigger jobs.
David Moyes 100% does. But
I'm not joining a team that's pretty much done. I'm sorry, no way, no way.
do you know who would have been good for that job? Strangely as well, Frank Lampard.
Maybe, but I think,
and he would have taken it because of Harry. He would have taken that job for Harry Redknapp.
Absolutely, but if I'm Harry Redknapp, I'd call him and say the last thing you need on your CV is a relegation again. There you go.
To be fair, he nearly fumbled up against Hull. Anyone that's here for the watch along on Saturday, he nearly messed up the game against Hull. They got a good player though, Coventry, Mason Clark. He needs to be in the Premier League. He's too good to be. He's too good to be playing at Coventry's Championship level. He's too good, man. He's a defender's nightmare. But very, very, very quickly, Gary O'Neill. I mean, I know there's boxing on next weekend, but for 2 weekends on the run, Wolves have given us a taste of what we can get from Tyson Fury and Alexander Usyk next weekend or this weekend coming, because the 2 weekends after the full-time whistle, there's been like a Royal Rumble. I don't know what's going on. So Gary O'Neill unfortunately lost his job as well. I think that was Saturday or yesterday even, sorry. Yeah. Earlier on in the afternoon before Russell Martin. Now, Wolves, I think, are already in talks with someone who I haven't got to hand. But
Vitor Pereira. He's in the Saudi League managing begins with an S. I think it's Al Shabab. I might be saying that wrong, so if I have, apologies. But he's managing them. He's not a bad manager, but again, well, Wolves, they love their Portuguese speaking.
I was just about to say that.
Managers, so it might just bring some familiarity in and see how it goes. So I think that's what they're going for. But
just looking at the odds here, he's definitely looking the front runner. I think if I read this morning, I'm pretty sure there was an article that came out to say they're starting early talks with his representative. So failing that, 8-1 is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer next in line. Very big odds though. So looking at these odds, I don't think anyone but Pereira will be given that job. But do you think it was the right time to sack very quickly to sack Gary O'Neill based on the form that Wolves had been in, or should he have been maybe given the Christmas fixtures and a couple more fixtures to try and redeem himself?
I think once the fighting happened,
that was the
that was done, man. Especially because the week before with Lamina, when he lost his mind.
Yeah. It was like Sean Derry, I think, wasn't it, or something like that? He squared up to him.
Yeah, it was. And he tried to make a statement at the beginning of the weekend by taking the armband off Lamina.
Yeah.
And it just ended up in more the team losing, having more fights. It was done. The writing was on the wall, and even his post-match interview kind of spoke volumes. As soon as I heard him use the words, they can't compete at this level, I knew he was resigned. I knew he said right there in his head he thought we were getting relegated. As a club, if you hear your manager say that, you're like, well, then you shouldn't be here, should you?
Yeah.
Job done. He kind of did it himself right there. But yeah, he's gonna have to hold that one.
They have to be careful. They're 19th in the league, only 4 points better off than Southampton. 2 wins out of 16. So the writings have been on the wall for a long time for Wolves as well. But let's forget about the bottom. Let's look at the top. Because Liverpool, come on, I've got to end it how I started. Liverpool first, 36 points. Chelsea, 34 points. 34 points. This smile will be wiped off my face at some point, but I'm just taking it in at the moment. I'm enjoying pause. I'm taking it in pause at the moment with... Said it so good I had to say it twice. You said that. That's the quiz question. Who said that? But yeah, no, with 34 points at the top, fighting with Liverpool. Let us know in the comments. Let us know in the thoughts in the comments, man. Who do you think will go on to win the Premier League? Who will have a late resurgence as well? Who's going to have the late push into the top 4? Will Forest carry on? Arsenal, Aston Villa, United could actually do a thing, you know. Like, let's not Nah, man. Listen. 22 points, and City are on 27 in fifth.
Yeah, we're not far from them, but we're far from you guys. So,
Nah, man. No, I'm just saying about top four though. Like top four, I think we'll
okay,
get top four.
yeah.
I think we'll get top four. I think United will get top four, based on how these games are going. So you never know, man. I'll take that.
Yeah, I'll take that as well. To be fair, take top four. Boy, it's been a while, isn't it? I hear the Champions League in my house for
Yeah,
another
come
team.
on. Listen, I have to mute that when the Conference League music comes. I have to mute it. At 3:30 last week. 3:30. Come on.
It's not that bad a song, to be fair.
Do you know what though? You got history with Astana, you know. You didn't want to raise that. You don't remember that. Astana 2, United 1. Come on.
Yeah, let's finish the episode, man.
Well, thank you anyway for listening. Episode 52, Starla Play. Don't forget to subscribe, like the video, all of that stuff. We'll be back soon. Yeah, man, we're out, man. We're done.